The invitation arrived on a Thursday afternoon. A simple message. Dinner at 8. Don't be late. No explanation. No smile. Just those words. Leo stared at the message for a long time because he knew what it meant. This wasn't a friendly dinner. This was a decision dinner, and the decision was about him. Leo worked at a small construction company. Dust, deadlines, noise, and tired bodies. He had been there for 5 years. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't careless. He showed up, did the work, and tried to stay responsible. But lately, things were slipping. A project he supervised was late. A budget went over. A client complained. Then another. Nothing dramatic. Just small cracks that grow quietly. And Leo felt it. Not as fear, as heaviness. Because deep down, he knew the truth. He wasn't failing. He was becoming comfortable. That night, Leo arrived at the restaurant early. It was a quiet place with warm lights and soft music. The kind of place where people speak gently, even when the message is hard. Mr. Karev, the owner of the company, was already there. A calm man, sharp eyes. Few words. Across the table sat the senior engineer. Leo greeted them and sat down. He tried to breathe normally, but his chest felt tight. They ordered food. For a while, no one talked about work. They spoke about simple things. The weather, traffic, a new building in the city. But the silence between those sentences was louder than everything. When the food arrived, Leo took one bite. He couldn't taste it. Then Mr. Karev placed his fork down. And finally, he said it. Leo, do you know why you're here? Leo could have defended himself. He could have blamed the market, the workers, the suppliers, the delays. But he was tired of protecting his pride. So he answered honestly, I think I stopped pushing myself. The senior engineer looked surprised. Mr. Karev did not. Mr. Karev leaned back slightly and said something that hit harder than anger. You're not incompetent. He paused. You're comfortable. That word landed like weight. Comfortable. Not evil. Not weak. Not stupid. Just comfortable. Leo swallowed. Because it was true. He had learned enough to survive. Enough to avoid big mistakes. Enough to keep his position. But not enough to improve. Not enough to grow. Mr. Karev looked at him calmly. When was the last time you studied your craft? Leo blinked. Studied? He hadn't opened a manual or watched serious training in years. He relied on routine, on experience, on good enough. Mr. Karev continued. You want higher pay. You want leadership. You want respect. He paused again. But you stopped growing. Leo looked down at his plate. The food was still there. But suddenly, the dinner didn't feel like dinner. It felt like a mirror. Then Mr. Karev took a sip of water and spoke slowly. I have two options. Replace you with someone hungry? Leo's heart tightened. Or invest in you again. Leo exhaled, but his hands were still cold. Mr. Karev leaned forward just a little. You have 3 months. Show me growth. Real growth. Then he said one sentence Leo would never forget. Comfort is expensive. It costs you your future. Leo left the restaurant that night and walked home in silence. Not angry. Not broken. Exposed. Because now he couldn't lie to himself anymore. He realized something painful. He had been blaming pressure. But the real enemy was stagnation. So he changed. Not loudly. Not with announcements. He began studying modern building systems. He read updates at night. He watched training videos in the morning. He visited sites on weekends. He asked younger engineers questions, even when it hurt his pride. He fixed small mistakes before they became big ones. He rebuilt systems that were wasting time. He stopped trying to look smart. He started trying to become skilled. And the pain of admitting he had become average became the fuel to become excellent. 3 months later, another message arrived. Same words. Dinner at 8. Leo stared at the screen again. But this time, It didn't feel like a threat. It felt like a checkpoint. Leo returned to the same restaurant, same table, same warm lights. But inside him, something was different. Not because he was fearless, because he was prepared. They sat down. For a few seconds, no one spoke. Then the senior engineer finally said softly, "I didn't tell you this before." Leo looked up. The engineer continued, "After that first dinner, Mr. Karev asked me a question." Leo's chest tightened. "What question?" Leo asked. The engineer said, he asked, "Is Leo worth saving, or is he already gone?" Leo's throat went dry. The engineer looked at him, eyes steady. "And I said, give him one chance. He has something rare. He can take truth without hating you for it." Leo sat very still, because suddenly he understood. That first dinner wasn't just judgment. It was a test, not of his skills, but of his character. Mr. Karev placed a folder on the table. Leo stared at it. Mr. Karev spoke calmly. This quarter was the most efficient in 2 years. Leo's eyes widened. Mr. Karev continued, "You fixed what I thought was unfixable." Then he opened the folder. Inside was a new title, a new role, a promotion. Leo didn't smile right away. He just stared, because some victories don't feel loud. They feel heavy, not with stress, with meaning. Mr. Karev said quietly, "Comfort almost ended your career, but pressure rebuilt it." Leo nodded slowly, and for the first time in a long time, he felt awake, not excited, not proud, clear. Leo walked home that night and did something small. He opened a notebook, not to write dreams, to write standards. He wrote one line at the top of the page, "Never become comfortable again." Then he wrote another line under it, "Grow before life forces you to." And the strangest part was this. The same words that once felt like a threat now felt like fuel. Dinner at 8, because Leo understood the truth. Success is not always built by disaster. Sometimes success is built by one uncomfortable truth. Accept it instead of avoid it. If your life feels slow, if your results feel stuck, if you keep telling yourself, "I'm fine," ask yourself one hard question. Have I stopped growing? Because comfort feels safe, but comfort quietly steals your edge. And one honest moment can rebuild your entire future. If this story made you think, like the video. Share it with someone who may be too comfortable right now, and comment below. Are you growing or coasting? Don't forget to subscribe to Meratic Tales. I'll meet you in the next interesting video. Until then, stay sharp, stay humble, and keep moving forward.